Hello and namaste friends. As those of you who have watched the introductory video will recall, I am Neti Neti and Aham Brahmasmi. I live in North America and I started the Living Sanatana Dharma series of videos to share what I learned about Sanatana Dharma and how I live by its concepts and values. I find that these concepts and values are very helpful to help me on a steady course through the ups and downs of life. Followers of Sanatana Dharma are guided by their awareness of the four stages of life. In this video, I will try to shed some light on what these are and how these can be used to guide us through our lives. According to Sanatana Dharma, there are four stages of life, each with distinct characteristics and goals. These are in chronological order: Brahmacharya, the student stage; Grihastha, the householder stage; Vanaprastha, preparing to retire; and Sannyasa, retirement to full spiritual life. None of these are prescriptive or mandatory, like practically much anything in Sanatana Dharma. They are just meant for guidance, so that we can better plan our lives. These four distinct stages are based upon the observation of human life, and the transition from one to the next is flexible in terms of timing. Transition and overlaps in these stages depend on people's individual circumstances, that is, their prarabdha karma and their kriyaman karma. For those who are unfamiliar with these concepts, you may wish to view the video on karma. Each of these stages of life present us with opportunities to perfect ourselves in our quest for moksha. Please view the video on moksha and maya if you have not yet done so. While it is possible to attain moksha at any stage of life, clarifying the roles, responsibilities, and goals of each stage of life can help us to attain material and spiritual success by taking the most appropriate actions at each stage. The first stage of life is Brahmacharya, the stage of the student. This is the stage of our life where we should acquire the knowledge and wisdom that can enable us to lead a useful and righteous life later on. The dharma of a student includes being obedient, respectful, including avoiding violence, striving to restrain desires, as well as being studious. It is indeed important to obey rules and to respect the guidance of teachers and gurus whose goals are to guide young minds towards material and spiritual prosperity and success. While the nature of kids is influenced by their prarabdha karma, it is the duty of parents to be the first guides or gurus of their children, instilling the values and concepts of Sanatana Dharma in them at a tender age. It is in Brahmacharya that the young should learn about and start practicing the various paths of yoga or union with the Supreme. Respect is linked to ahimsa, the avoidance of violence, one of the 10 values of Sanatana Dharma. Teaching kids to respect others is important for their own material and spiritual progress. If they are disrespectful of others or violent towards others in action, words, or thoughts, this will likely cause pain to others, and negative karmic reactions will result for those kids. What about the recommendations about studiousness and self-restraint? Well, these are interrelated to some extent. If a student wants to learn as much as possible in the stage which is meant for learning, it is obvious that if they spend too much time in other activities, they will have less time left for studying. Students then can restrain their desires and be more studious, are more likely to attain the best results in their studies and therefore be successful through the rest of their lives. The second stage of life is Grihastha, or the stage of the householder. This is the stage where we perform our dharma by taking on a profession and by contributing actively to the betterment of society. Besides specific duties related to one's profession and active participation in society as an adult earning their living, such as voting, making purchases, and paying taxes, grihast can also include other activities. These are marrying and having children, and taking responsibility for household and social rituals and spiritual activities. Grihast can be both a challenging and a rewarding stage of life, where former brahmacharyas step into the duties of householding. Once they have completed their learning and are settled in their profession, they may seek to share their lives with a partner and to enjoy being parents. Grihast overlaps with two of the aims of life in particular. These are artha and kama. It is a time to earn one's living while adhering to one's dharma and the values of Sanatan Dharma, keeping in mind key concepts such as karma. In grihastha, people also seek to earn the wealth needed to enjoy their material life too. Sanatana Dharma recognizes the importance of pleasure, joy, and fun, which is why karma is designated as an aim of life. For more on the four aims of life, please view the related video. This is also where an important duty of grihast emerges. Parents should be the first teachers and gurus of their kids. If they neglect this duty, children learn values and develop tendencies based on interactions with teachers at school, classmates, TV programs, video games, social media, etc., with the risk that one day, when the kids have themselves grown into adults or much earlier, they surprise their parents by their attitudes to life, their tastes, their values, some of which may not align with the values of Sanatana Dharma. If parents wish their kids to acquire these values, they need to rely on themselves and available resources to provide early guidance on the Sanatana Dharma concepts and values to their children, and to be role models for their children by visibly practicing one or more of the path of yoga or union with the Supreme. Another important duty of grihast is care for others, starting with immediate family members, such as our spouse and children, elderly parents and in-laws, siblings and other relatives in need, to the extent of one's abilities. Grihastis also have the opportunity to contribute to the betterment of society in many ways. For example, through economic participation by making purchases and paying taxes, political participation by voting and making their voices heard, social participation by contributing to community events, among others. All these activities, if performed in the spirit of detachment, align with the spiritual path of karma yoga discussed in another video. The third stage of life under Sanatana Dharma is Vanaprastha. Generally, as we move into middle age after having successfully attained the goals of grihastha, and as we prepare for retirement while fulfilling our remaining familial and social responsibilities, Vanaprastha allows us to detach ourselves gradually and to devote more and more time to spiritual activities. This brings us closer to the ultimate aim of life, moksha. Vanaprastha also provides an opportunity for elders to share their knowledge with younger generations, including their own children and grandchildren. As the proverb goes, it takes a village to educate a child. So it takes Vanaprasthis to enlighten grihastis and brahmacharyas by sharing their experience about material and spiritual matters, so that the next generations can lead more prosperous and enlightened lives. If done in the right spirit of detachment from outcomes, this can be a helpful form of karma yoga. The fourth and final stage of life, according to Sanatana Dharma, is sannyas. In this stage, retired from professional life, we can devote all our time to spiritual practices aimed at attaining moksha and preparing for a new life. Some believe sannyas to be a stage of life where people need to go somewhere like a cave in the Himalayas, the forest, or some other remote location. While these may be suitable for some, it is possible to live as a sannyasi anywhere. What is required is simply complete detachment from all material matters and total dedication to living a purely spiritual life. Detachment means exactly that, live and let live. We do not want to be entangled by Maya and sannyas. In fact, we have likely started practicing detachment in Vanprasth or earlier stages of life. So wherever we are, we should just be totally detached, leaving our material desires and other entanglements behind and moving freely towards moksha, or remaining in moksha if we have already attained it in a previous stage, which is possible. See the video on Maya and moksha for more on that. Finally, at the end of sannyas, we should expect to leave our body behind and move to a new role, a new body, a new life somewhere else. As mentioned by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, we should regret nothing. We played our role as best we could. In fact, we played multiple roles in our lives, doing as much good as possible, maybe making a few mistakes along the way, and we then prepare to move to our next assignment somewhere else in God's Leela on the stage of the Supreme's infinite theater. This brings me to the end of what I wanted to share with you through this video about the 4 stages of life under Sanatan Dharma. These concepts are guidelines, not impositions or obligations. Guidelines such as these are meant to assist those who wish to follow the path of Sanatan Dharma in their quest for moksha. People are also free to exercise their freedom within the constraints of their prarabdha karma and to live their lives in the way they want to, and to reap the consequences of their kriyaman karma, that is, of their decisions and actions. I hope this was a good use of your time. If you have any questions or suggestions for topics related to Sanatana Dharma that you would like me to address, you can email those to me, and if I can address those, I will. Also, if you find these videos useful, please share the link to this channel with others who might be interested. And yes, please subscribe to the channel and like the videos you like. Thank you for your attention. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.